I'm going to demonstrate the Trinity Stitch crochet stitch pattern. I'll be using American crochet terminology throughout. Crochet Trinity Stitch begins by chaining a multiple of 2 stitches plus 4. Row 1 begins with single crochet 2 together over the second chain from hook and the next chain. So here's my first chain from hook. There's my second chain from hook. Single crochet 2 together would be go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, just like I'm going to do a single crochet. But then before finishing the single crochet, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now I have 2 incomplete single crochets. Then yarn over and pull through all the loops. So that's my first single crochet 2 together. It can be a little tricky to keep track of the first and last stitches in this pattern. I'm going to put a stitch marker right here in this first stitch that I completed so I can come back and find it when I come back on the next row. After my single crochet 2 together, chain 1, then single crochet 3 together over the same chain and the next 2 chains. Okay, so what that means is I'm put my hook into the same chain as the last stitch. See where I have it right there? Same chain as the last stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Go into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then go into the next chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. So I have started to do 3 single crochets, and I have 4 loops on my hook, then yarn over and pull through all those loops. That makes a little cluster right there. Chain 1. I repeat that all the way across. So single crochet 3 together over the same chain. That's 1, and then the next 2 chains. 2, 3, yarn over and pull through all, chain 1. As I come to the end of my chain, this is where I finished my single crochet 3 together, chain 1, and because that's a chain 1 space, I'm going to put a marker right through this space right here. Then I had my single crochet 2 together, 1, 2, and I'm going to put another marker in that stitch. So this pink marker is in the stitch and the purple marker is in the space, and they sort of seem like the same place right now, but they're not quite. You can see there that there's a little strand between them here, but there's my space, there's my stitch. So when I turn and chain 1, it tells me that's not going to count. Single crochet in over the first stitch and the next chain space. So here's that pink marker showing me I put my hook in here, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then in this space right here where the purple marker is, go in, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2. So at this point I can take out my markers, but I want to replace this one in that first stitch. It's really important. You'll find it a lot easier if you use markers, at least when you're learning the stitch pattern. That's my first single crochet 2 together, then I chain 1, and then I do single crochet 3 together over the next space, the next stitch, and the next space. So there's my space. I go in, yarn over, pull up a loop. there's my stitch right here. I'm going to go under 2 loops of my stitch there, and then in my next space, and so that space is right here. 1, 2, 3, then yarn over and pull through everything. Then chain 1 and do another single crochet 3 together. Now let me show you something here. This is the way I do this stitch, and it may not be technically correct, but I think it looks a little bit better. Here is my space right here. You can see where that last stitch went, so I'm going to put my hook in there. Now technically I think the next stitch is really this one over here, and the space is just to the left of it, right over here. But that's not the way I like to do it. I like to work into this little stitch right here, which is right on top of that cluster. So I go in there and pull up a loop. Like I say, technically that might be the chain, I don't know. And then I go into the next space, which is this space right here next to the cluster. And again, it could be that I should be going further over here, but I'm going to go into this space right here. Yarn over and pull through. Chain 1. Let me show you again the way I do it. I work into this space, this next stitch, which is a smaller stitch right here, and then this big space right here, and yarn over and pull through all. I just like the way that looks better than perhaps another way of doing it, so that's the way I'm doing it for this stitch pattern. Do that all the way across. There's my last single crochet 3 together cluster. Chain 1, and I'm going to put a marker in this chain space, so you see just around there, so I can find that when I do the first stitch on the next row. Insert my hook into the same stitch, same space, and then into this last stitch that I marked. So I'm not working into that little stitch right there. I'm working into the last stitch that I marked. Again, I'm not technically working into the next stitch or into the space I'm working into a cluster. I'm doing this maybe a little differently. So there's yarn over and pull through 2. That will keep your edge straight. I will move this marker up here to the stitch I just made, so that when I turn and chain 1, I will be able to see where that first single crochet 2 together goes. It goes into this space, or this stitch, yarn in and pull up a loop, and then into the space right next to it where this pink marker is. Insert my hook and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And I will move this purple marker up. After a while, you may find you don't need the markers, but in the beginning, it's helpful. Chain 1, work in that same space, and the next stitch, and I'm going to work into this small stitch here, and then into this next space. And single crochet 3 together, chain 1, all the way across. Just repeat that row as many times as you need to complete your fabric. If you'd like more crochet instruction like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the links in the video notes for other ways you can find me. Thanks for watching.